Benjamin is definitely most people. He's worked the same job ever since high school, bagging groceries at the A&P.
Works at the A&P? Does he have access to a delivery vehicle?
Nope, only works the floor.
He's in mourning. I thought it'd be polite to let him know we were coming.
We should have brought a six-pack.
Can I get you some coffee?
Sure.
It's instant.
None for me, thanks.
I'll wait.
I knew she was it when I met her.
How'd you know?
We saw things the same way.
So you two know each other from church?
Yeah.
You and Rose?
Mostly by sight now. I don't go much anymore.
Was your mother a disciplinarian?
You mean strict?
Yeah. She cracked the whip?
Any nerves around the engagement? Was she saving herself for marriage? We're from a particular unit of the FBI. We investigate murders when there's a sexual angle. I want to talk to Mrs. Barnwright. Should we stop at a payphone? Give her a heads up too?
I think that'd be fair. What about the tears?
I didn't buy them.
You think he was faking?
Seemed a bit much.
Given what he's been through? It sure got us out of there. He's obviously a mama's boy.
He was so excited to have a girlfriend.
Did she reciprocate those feelings? He's sensitive.
Half glazed, half cake.
Sure.
I bet Beverly had poor old Pipsqueak Benji wrapped around her golden triangle.
So where does this leave us? Still Alvin?
You don't want it to be someone in the community. Neither of you do. Who drives all this way to come to some Rust Belt town? If you're hunting for girls, you got big cities. You got freeways with hitchhikers. Why choose a place like this? And how would a drifter know where the dump is?
Shouldn't we tailor the interviews based on the killer's personality?
You mean just wing it?
We've been finding with these guys we need to look for different ways in.
Yes, but we still need a data set that's consistent across all our subjects.
It felt wrong. Benjamin was blubbering like a baby, but it didn't seem vulnerable. It felt hostile.
You know, psychopaths are extremely skilled at imitating human emotions. It's how they manipulate other people or how they gain power over their environment.
How do they understand emotions if they don't have them?
Well, they have emotions. They just don't believe that other people have them. Or, more specifically, they don't believe that other people have interior lives.
How do we sniff them out?
Well, it seems like you just did. You trust your instincts.
The whole town sees Benjamin as this lost little puppy that needs protecting. Maybe my instincts are wrong.
Well, we're developing a methodology, so use it. Look at where the perpetrator went. Hair, breasts, vagina, all symbols of her sexual power. Disfiguring her reproductive organs was a way to neutralize her.
What about the hair on the ironing board? Is that some kind of display?
Like a trophy, a way to assert his dominance.
Benjamin is anything but assertive. Beverly's the first woman he slept with.
How old is he?
26.
So that would give the relationship an extra significance.
Girl thinks that the only reason she was with him is because she has total sexual control over him.
Well, what's her history? Was she a virgin too?
He was touchy about that.
So, then she had some experience which could either excite or threaten him.
In the photo, she looks like the girl next door.
You really believe that a young, pretty girl can't be manipulative? Even if she was using sex to control him, and you have absolutely no evidence for this, then it would be in line with what many women do to have an ounce of power in this world.
Fine, but if it went too far, if something happened and Benjamin snapped, could feelings of impotence explain his rage? Could it explain him going back 4 days later to cut her up, like you said, as an attempt to assert control?
Possibly. But then wouldn't the rape already have accomplished that?
Accomplish control?
Exactly. You know, in all the crimes that we've studied, there's never been an example of a victim being raped, then depersonalized. If the killer mutilates her after death, then he usually commits sexual acts after death as well.
To make up for his sense of inadequacy while she was still alive.
It's like there's two different presentations of this crime scene.
Studying. Pulling an all-nighter.
We were digging into his relationship with the fiancée, and he burst into tears. Bill thought he was bullshitting, but psychopaths are extremely skilled at imitating human emotions.
I once went crying to my professor.
You fake crying?
Made up an elaborate story about my dad in some horrendous accident.
When was this?
My freshman year. I was partying a little too much, almost flunked out of school.
Women crying to men always works. Men to men, oof.
Well, hell, pick him up. Don't tell him anything. Let him stew for a few hours until we get there. Okay. Apparently in high school, he was sent to a psychiatric hospital for taking a monkey wrench to a girl.
If Frank's a hothead, it'll irritate him, throw him off. Class of 71?
Yep.
You go to your 5-year reunion?
I don't really keep up with that stuff.
It's commendable that you graduated, seeing as how you missed your junior year.
You got everyone in a tizzy.
Mrs. Barnwright said you looked out for him.
How'd you land yourself in Warren State Psychiatric Hospital?
This girl freaked out on me. Came after me with the wrench. I tried to get it out of her hand and it swung back and hit her in the face. And then all this shit came raining down on me. I was seeing some other girl, too.
You a ladies' man?
There were other infractions. I was running around like a jackass back then.
But no longer.
Oh, man. I don't want to rain on his parade.
You're saying he made the relationship more than what it was?
You found her attractive.
She's a 7.
Frank's cagey. You hear him deflect on that deal in high school? He could have made all that up about her being a slut.
But what if he didn't? Listen, if Beverly had the upper hand in the relationship and made Benjamin feel jealous by seeing other men, he might lash out with the kind of anger we see in this crime.
He paints a different picture of your relationship with Beverly. He said you made up that part about you and her being engaged.
It sounded to us like she wanted to keep her options open.
Anyone else she might have confided in?
If it is Benjamin or some other boyfriend who freaked out on her, does the case merit our involvement? I mean, we still can't rule out a sequence killer, but if the perpetrator was a townie, then the crime is random and there's no expectation that he'll be repeating it.
Here's my question. Shouldn't our funding cover separate rooms?
You don't like my company?
We'll get connecting doors.
The mutilation of her body alone justifies our involvement. 2 kids, 2 jobs. How'd you swing that? It's no small feat.
He said he thought she was giving him the runaround. Getting done up for other guys.
Done up how? Dressing provocatively?